Welcome to Daddyhood. Today I am joined by my friend. You have joined us before for a brief snippet of Baby List.
A little taste, a little teaser.
Danny Pellegrino, but since then you are now a father.
I am, yes. Hi, boys. How are ya?
Hi,
Good.
Danny. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's so weird now to hear that.
Dad.
Yeah, and I became sort of a husband right before baby. I mean,
Yes.
my husband and I have been together like over 15 years, but we got officially married right before. So every time I hear like dad or husband, they both sound so weird to me. It's like an adjustment
They
still.
look good on you.
Thank you.
You're happy.
I'm very happy, yeah.
Lucky.
Yes, Lucky's. His name's Luciano, but we
Yes,
call him
yes.
Lucky. Yeah,
Little
he's
Lucky.
the cutest little boy. And,
He definitely
I think
is.
you guys know, like, it brings so much joy to the house.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're just laughing all the time and smiling. Obviously exhausted, too. But
Yeah.
I feel like the house is just filled with so much more happiness or something. I don't know.
We feel the same way, and we feel like lucky and blessed that we have Bishop. Like it is tiring and draining, but it is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my
It also
life.
kind of keeps you on your toes because, like, to me, the thing I was surprised the most about, I have lots of nephews and nieces and friends with kids, but you don't really understand until you're living with a baby that they really change every week or two. So you get used to this thing, and then they start doing this new thing.
Yeah.
And then you get used to that. So, and some of it is like tough, right? Like sleeping stuff. But some of it's really funny. Like for 2 weeks, he would just like bite my nose.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
be like, ah, and like bite my nose. And it was so funny and unexpected and cute.
Yeah.
And
We're-
now he's doing
We're
other
at
stuff.
the 4 months, and he's like looking around more and interacting so much more, starting to giggle and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, like you said, every 2 weeks it's something new. And I feel like when you're getting all that stuff in return, it's so, your heart's just so filled with everything. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And you guys are a little ahead, and I've relied on you guys for so much advice and stuff throughout this
As we did with our
process.
friends who
Yeah.
were ahead of
I
us.
was going to say, it's sort of just like now it feels like a responsibility to just keep giving back to people. And I'm sure you're helping
Yeah.
people too. Like you sort of just like look to the person who's like slightly ahead of you and you're like, okay, so what do I need to expect here?
Well, and I think there is, like, I've talked to you about this. It's like there's a little nuance when it comes to gay parenting, too, that I think I have so many girlfriends who have kids and young
Yeah.
babies and sister-in-laws and all of that kind of stuff. But there is a little bit of a difference. And I do think it's important to kind of connect with other gay parents.
Yeah.
That's been really helpful, knowing you guys and other gay parents. That
What have you,
kids.
what have you found the most difficult being gay dads with raising, Lucky?
I think just sort of like the public scrutiny of it. I think on even social media, being a little bit of a public figure, it's not like I'm some big celebrity or anything like that, but you do get opinions on
Yeah.
how you're having a family, or just kind of underhanded digs on social media and stuff like that can be heart-wrenching. Or even I kind of announced the baby on the Drew Barrymore show, and it was wonderful, and I was happy to do it, but it was such a big platform that
Yeah.
I was getting a lot of messages, and at that time the baby wasn't here yet, and I already felt so kind of protective of everything. It was
Yeah.
like scary to me. It
was
was like
him.
scary to know that people might not wish you well with things, and that was really challenging for me to kind of mentally wrap my head around.
Yeah.
And even I think you guys have talked about this on your show, like the social media aspect. It's like you kind of wonder, how much should I share? Should I be sharing? I ultimately think it is important for gay parents right now to share a happy family and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like I think it's
Yeah.
important for people to see that right now.
Totally.
And so I try to share what I'm comfortable with, or what my husband and I are comfortable with. And but I think that has been the hardest thing for me, is I kind of just maybe was a little Pollyanna or whatever about it, like thinking, oh, everyone's just going to be so happy. And
Yeah.
and 99% of it
Yeah.
is. But then you hear from people and it's like, oh, I didn't realize people thought that way, or I didn't realize people.
Isn't it so fucked up how our brains work, though, where you could have literally 900
Yeah.
people being like, I'm so happy for you. He's the most perfect looking baby. You guys are the most beautiful family. And then like 3 assholes.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
the 3 assholes can ruin your day.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting better, I think, about it all, but that was really challenging.
Well, I'll share our perspective on that too, because as Colton alluded, I wasn't as comfortable. And then when we got married, I was so moved, like unexpectedly, by all the queer people who had sort of had really tough lives. Either they lived closeted lives and they couldn't be who they were, or they did come out and it was really hard and they got sent to mental institutions or conversion camps or whatever it was, fired from their job, excommunicated from their church, like you name it. And I just was so moved by all those people living still publicly, making it possible for us to have that moment where our families were celebrating us and sitting there. And also, you know, on a smaller scale, like the parents, like you think of like Neil Patrick Harris and Ricky Martin and you know, Matt Bomer, who all have like, I think like teenage kids that they raised with their same-sex partners. Like, I think that really helped people kind of understand that, you know, people like us can have families too.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it gave people like me sort of the idea in my head that I could have a family. I mean, I remember seeing when Neil Patrick Harris, I think he did maybe like a People cover with his kids or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just before I was even out of the closet, being able to see that and be like, oh, if, you know, knowing that I was gay at the time, to be like, oh, I can have a family and I can raise kids. Because I knew I always wanted a family.
Yeah.
I come from a small town in Ohio, and it was like, family was always really important.
Is it the same town where Glee is from?
No. I think that was a made up town.
I think so too.
But spiritually, yes.
Yeah, I just feel like we have this massive privilege of having the platforms that we have, that it is a duty of ours to continue. And it's like finding that right balance too, of like, some people and fans feel entitled because I went on a reality show and multiple reality shows at this point in my career, but you just don't get like that's sort of how I would like to say it. Like, you don't just get that part of me now. Like, I have boundaries. I do have like things. Of course, I want to like show our family and let you into my lives a little bit, but we do have to protect ourselves. And I think that is something that he's really helped me with, because we're you know, a lot of yin and yang and push and pull here, and he's really good at sort of finding that balance with me.
Reality TV is hard though, because I recap reality TV on my podcast, and it's like, you guys have no control over any of it,
right?
And with my stuff, I always feel like I at least have a control. So when it comes to sharing Lucky or any of that kind of stuff, I don't like if I don't feel in control of it.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm used to, in my books or podcasts or anything, I'm editing, I'm writing, I'm in control of whatever, and I share a lot, but I'm kind of whatever I'm comfortable with. And I always look at reality TV people, I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I would be able to do that where somebody else is in control of my life and my edit.
Well, I mean,
and sorry to cut you off.
No.
But I also like getting to know certain people on reality TV. You realize like they're not like that at all. Like, there's so many times, and I think you were just on Love Island, and I worked with Ariana, and I did her cocktail book. I was her ghostwriter for her and Tom Sandoval's cocktail book. And I always used to say, like, Ariana never came across the way that she is on Vanderpump Rules, at least. Now I think the public is getting to know her, but that was the first time where it kind of clicked for me of like, oh, there's like different personas, or it might be a little bit of that person. Yeah,
well, you know who does it and did it brilliantly is Paris Hilton. She's sort of the OG of, she has this persona to protect herself. It's genius.
Yeah.
And I wish that I would have done that on Bachelor and all of these shows, of having some sort of television persona, character per se. You know, naturally I'm just like an overshare, and like now in my life, probably too authentic, like, and he has to reel me back in.
No, I don't. Not really.
But it is
too authentic.
Well, no, I mean, like, I guess overshare, not too authentic, but like, you know, sometimes you're like, I don't know. I don't think we need to tell them that. In the nicest way. But I want to go back, because you very humbly just said, like, I cover you have a fantastic podcast and a huge following on that. And in addition to that, I also know you as a brilliant writer.
Say the name of the podcast.
Everything Iconic.
Yes. So, and we'll obviously put all of that in the show notes, but do you have a favorite parenting reality couple, and or do you have a favorite mom or dad in the reality unscripted world?
Well, the fascinating thing about reality TV is that on Housewives in particular, I watch a lot of the Real Housewives, and they can be the messiest person, but sometimes like the crazier the Real Housewife, like the better their kid turns out.
Yeah.
Sometimes, which I find so interesting, because it'll be like this monster personality, and then their kid will seem so well adjusted, and because we've been with certain housewives for 15 plus years now,
Yeah.
it's like you really get to see the kids grow, and you're like, wait, how did their kid turn out so great?
Yeah.
And they're nuts.
Okay, I'm not a fluent in Housewives, but I do think one of the most famous reality scenes ever, where I feel like this is true, Trading Spouses, God Warrior.
Oh yeah.
And
Yes,
her kids
yes.
seemed so well adjusted
Yeah.
and normal.
But what is that? I'm always trying to figure that out. Like, is it because maybe the kid, I don't know, it's maybe that yin and yang thing of like, you need a balance. Everything needs balance. And so it's like, if the mom is like an outrageous personality, sometimes the kid is going to be a more reserved, or
Like the kid's 3 years old, I was like, bitch, you're crazy.
yeah, like they realize it. But so in Housewives, I'm trying to think of like I'm also, you mentioned Paris Hilton, and like that whole family is very interesting to me. Not Paris so much, but like Kathy and Big Kathy and Kyle and
Yeah.
Kim. Like there's so much lore behind that family.
What's Big Kathy?
Big Kathy is like their mom.
Kathy, the Paris's grandma?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. She's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Big Kathy.
No woman wants to be called Big.
They call her that. on the show.
But you are right, though. There is this sort of like with Kyle Richards and then Kim, it's like how they all come together.
Yeah.
It's sort of like an interesting family dynamic.
And they're
where
all-
they call each other relatives, but are they blood related?
Kathy, or one of them has a different, I think half related.
Okay.
Not all of them are. I actually, I should know that.
There is some.
Yeah, there's something there.
Yeah.
But
You really should know that.
I know. I'm trying to think. Well, because I think it's Kyle and Kim are, both have the same mom and dad, and I think Kathy maybe has a different mom or dad, a different dad.
Okay.
Yeah, Big Kathy is like the matriarch.
R.I.P.
I
girl.
keep saying Big Kathy.
Yeah.
They are, but yeah, and the other funny thing is I always think of them as kids because they were child actors. Like Kim and Kyle were child actors in a bunch of Disney stuff and everything, and I always just imagine Big Kat there like trying to teach him how to like tap dance and stuff,
Like the
and,
OG
get in front of the camera.
Are you going to be a stage mom?
No, I don't think so.
You don't
But
think?
who knows?
Who knows?
I'm not. How about you guys? Are you going to push Bishop?
No, I think
Colton wants him to be more of an athlete than a television personality.
that's a constant conversation in our household
Really?
right now.
What do you mean?
Like I think that one of the best parts of my life was my experience playing football.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he has to play football, but
But you do learn a lot
But
about
do you worry about him playing football?
He does.
Yeah, I would worry about football specifically.
But you get a lot of mental toughness, and you learn how to cooperate, and there is some really big bonding thing about team sports.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
But I think you can get that in soccer.
I have a funny story though, because right before our welcome party at our wedding, we were like getting ready, and he goes, "I don't think I want our kids to play football." And I was like, "They're fine." He's like, "But the concussion risk." I was like, "Look at me, I'm good. Like I was fine."
Also, it gives you a little bit of a window into my crazy mind that we're about to get married, and I said that.
This is as we're getting ready to go out there, and then we go out, and my college coach was giving a speech at the opening night. And part of his speech, he looked directly at Jordan and he goes, "You better make sure you're in charge of the finances because his brain is fucked." And I was like, "Oh," and he leans over, he's like, "Our kid's not playing football."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Shit." Like, what is going on?
I mean, I would be scared with football specifically, but I think team sports are really important.
Yeah.
I always think about when I was a kid, I'm really tall, and I would feel like I have 2 older brothers, and I was really pushed into sports, and I actually loved playing sports. I loved like baseball, but then they would make me play basketball, and I didn't really love it, but they were like, "You should be good because you're tall." And so I always just think, I don't want to push. I want him to do whatever he likes to do.
Yeah.
And I also kind of think like, I wish they would have pushed me in a little more into arts because I think I'm a little more creative brained.
Yeah.
But
I think we're going to wait to just see what his interests and
see what
hobbies
they
are.
like.
And then I think I'm just a big advocate on trying some sort of team
a team
building
thing is important. Yeah, I agree.
Also, it's just, I feel like becoming parents in 2024, 2025, we have no idea what the world will be like in 10 years.
I know, it's depressing. Do you ever think about that? I'm on TikTok a lot at night, like during feedings or something. I'm like looking at TikTok, and the world is so scary right now. And there's a lot of people on social media and stuff who are like, it's irresponsible to have kids right now, or how could you have kids right now?
Yep.
And I understand that point of view. I tend to also think it's sort of like an act of hope having
Totally agree.
children, but I'm curious what you guys think.
We had this discussion. Before we had Bishop, he's like, do we really want to bring a child into this world right now? And I said, we are the type of people, and I just was like, we're the type of people who are going to create a loving environment and raise hopefully a great kid. We're the type of people that should be putting kids into this world.
I also think a little bit of it is like we grew up in a relatively charmed part of history, like our formative years, and we learned, it was like getting in a head-on car crash, that we can go backwards. Mm-hmm. Not everything is progress. And so when I really think, like, imagine being our age and having this conversation in 1940, right? And you're like, the Holocaust is happening. The nuclear bomb has been invented. Or like even in the 50s and 60s when every child in school in America had to go into a shelter in case Russia nuked us. Like, there's never really been this time, or like, we just had Dr. Max on the podcast who pointed out that until the 20th century, 1 out of 4 kids died before the age of 2. Didn't matter if you were wealthy and had plenty of money or whatever. Like, there's just...
This is really never a good time.
Yeah, and so I think it's like, I totally agree it's having that having a child is an act of hope. And I think there are lots of ways to live your life that way. Like, I don't think you have to have a kid.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. I think that...
Totally.
There's never been a time where it was like obvious that the world was going to be like chill.
Yeah. Also having, sort of selfishly too, obviously this is not the reason to have a child, but I think it has been good to kind of be able to block out some of what's going on. Obviously you don't want to be ignorant to what's happening in the world, but I don't know. My kid's 4 months old right now, and I don't necessarily have the brain power to be like diving into what's happening every single day with everything. So that's been sort of a nice blessing, but obviously not the reason to have a child.
But everyone we talk to says that though. And people who don't have children or young children are like, I'm in a pottery class, or like,
you have to find something.
Binging Bravo shows, because you can't, there's a difference between being informed and trying to help and just like torturing yourself because you have no control. Like, none of us can control masked ICE agents, whether they come or not, right? If we protest, it's still going to happen. If we write a letter, it's still going to happen, or, things like that.
You have to find the balance.
Well, going back to something more positive and light.
Yeah. How dare you?
Lucky.
Yeah.
And
Luciano.
Where does that name come from?
Matt, we were just trying to figure out a name, and Matt, my husband, he came in the one day and he was like, how about Lucky? And I loved it right away. I loved Lucky.
Did your mind immediately go to Britney Spears?
No. My mind goes to General Hospital. My mom watched General Hospital, and there was a character, Lucky Spencer, who I think is still sort of off and on the show. And I remember even as a kid, because my mom would watch it every single day, and I remember thinking that name was so cool, Lucky Spencer. Yeah. So I liked it immediately, but then we kind of went back and forth. We were like, well, should we give him like a formal out in case he, doesn't want something a little more formal?
Yeah.
And so we liked Luciano. It's like I'm Italian, and so we liked Luciano. And then Christopher was my husband's middle name, so Lucky Christopher we thought was cute.
That's my middle name.
Oh, yeah.
True.
So we liked it, yeah. But there's always so many opinions about the fucking name. Can I swear? I can swear.
Yeah, you can swear.
That was challenged. That was another, going back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like, I didn't realize people have so many opinions on names.
We shared Bishop with somebody, and they go, well...
Oh, before Bishop was here?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, it's really religious. And then my favorite is when we would share a name, and they'd be like, have you thought about? And then they would give us another name. It's just the biggest eye roll every
time. With Lucky, sometimes people will be like, oh, it reminds me of like... the dog from 101 Dalmatians or whatever, but
people don't think when they say shit like that.
I know, but I'm like, well, everyone's gonna have different reference points for a name.
Yeah.
And then there's also this argument of like, well, when they're older, they can't have a name like that. Not Lucky's not too weird, but I know sometimes when you give a kid a little bit of a weird name, but I'm thinking, well, when they're older, all the kids are gonna have weird names.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they won't be weird because everyone else.
I saw this really funny though. This comedian come across on Instagram. It was this British guy, and he's like, I'm not going to try to do the accent, but he's like, we're living in such a weird time where like old lady names are, he's like, for instance, I know a baby named Agnes who's getting breastfed by a woman named Kylie.
Yeah, totally. Yes. But names are so I didn't realize.
How did you do last name?
My husband doesn't, I guess it's okay to say he doesn't have a relationship with his dad. So he didn't have much of a connection to his last name. So he knew that he wanted to change his name.
So when you guys get married, he legally
changed it
his
to
name?
Pellegrino.
That's so-
yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but
What
he doesn't have a relationship with his dad, so he had never felt a connection with his last name.
Yeah.
And his mom has remarried, and so he sort of had a last name, but no emotional connection to it. So
Yeah.
and we've been together 15 years. So.
Isn't that like one of the cooler parts about being gay? Is we sort of get to make our own
you make
rules
your own.
and make our own traditions.
Totally. Yeah.
I think like that was what we loved about it too. Like we both have kept our last names the same, but our
Will you change anything or no?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I think
It's sort of a pain in the ass,
Bishop
too.
is Brown.
Pain.
It's a big
Yeah.
pain in the ass. Bishop is Bishop Brown Underwood.
Yeah.
Colton Brown Underwood. Because so it's a tradition in my family that the firstborn gets the father's name passed.
Wait,
to
say
his
that
mom.
again. I can't do that math.
Bishop Colton Brown Underwood.
Okay.
So my dad's name's Scott. I'm Colton Scott Underwood.
So
and I was
his
the
middle
firstborn.
name is Colton?
His middle name is Colton.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's just one of
That's
our
cute.
family traditions.
Yeah.
We've
His
always
family
sort
has a
kept.
lot of traditions. Mine has none.
Where are you from? You're from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're from
I'm from Illinois.
Small town
We're
California.
like,
Yeah,
we're
we get each
bored.
other.
We have to have,
Yeah,
we
I
have
get
to
it.
have our things.
Yeah.
What is Lucky going to be for Halloween?
Oh, a Cookie Monster. We got the Cookie Monster costume from Pottery Barn Kids.
They
I'm a
have the
big
best
Muppet fan.
costumes.
I know they have the best
Wait,
costumes.
my
the
mom
hardest
turned me
thing
onto
was,
this.
It was hard to figure out though, right? Like I'm sure you
Yeah.
because I really like a baby in an M&M costume, but then I couldn't find like a good one. But I
And
love
you don't
a
want to
Muppet.
accidentally get the sexy M&M
I
costume.
know exactly.
Wait, what are you two going to
I
be?
don't know yet. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to be in the
We'll be
Sesame Street
something.
family,
Yeah,
right?
We'll
Yeah.
figure something.
I just
don't-
spent so much time on Pottery Barn Kids because we're moving and we're looking for a new playroom and
They have
room
the
for
cutest
Bishop.
stuff.
It's so cute.
I'm addicted to their crib sheets at Pottery Barn. Like it's a sickness. Like because
Okay.
they have seasonal crib sheets.
Randomly, Pottery Barn is not paying for this episode.
No, but they should send us some crib sheets because like I'm obsessed with. I buy them all the time because they have such cute and they change them all the time. So I just got them Christmas crib sheets.
Yeah.
They had a Grinch one. I got him a Winnie the Pooh one.
I found the Grinch very scary as a baby, just so you know, as a
Really?
kid. Yeah, I was terrified of the Grinch.
I'm that way about the claymation Christmas specials. Like I hate them. The
yeah.
Rudolph and I hate those.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I was
Do
afraid.
you guys do the crib sheets? Are you guys crazy like that?
We
We rotate.
we have them,
I'm
but
gonna get
ours
you
are
some
like
seasonal ones.
pretty plain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would
ours are
you?
very
But
plain.
you guys don't. You guys are more stylish. I think you probably wouldn't do like a kitschy.
I mean, we're also moving. The nursery, Bishop's current nursery is very like chic, elegant,
Yeah,
elevated.
yeah.
But we are moving, so we are completely just like starting over.
I'm trying to figure out
So-
if you guys would do a kitschy crib sheet,
Yeah.
like
for
a
sure.
character crib sheet.
Oh yeah,
Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
we're-
first of all, you change them so much because there's
know,
always
yeah.
stuff on them.
He's also in such a fun. He's in a fun phase right now where he is like he's just hilarious and like what he's doing and
He's really into
He's a
hide and go seek and
sponge.
like making us laugh.
like even in the morning when I go to get him out of the crib, he'll be like up and I'll be like, "Where's Bishop?" And he like ducks his head and then he'll like look up and be like, "There he is!" And he starts laughing. It's such a fun. Like I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
We just
like,
finally
playing
got
with
to the peekaboo phase where it's like he started fully laughing with peekaboo. He
Yeah.
doesn't do it all the time, but he's starting to like giggle with peekaboo, and it's the best thing ever. But then I find myself, because he's not doing it every time, I'm like trying to do it constantly, and I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, give it again. I have
have
a
a-
cute picture though of when at Bishop's first birthday party, Lucky is like just staring at Bishop eating the cake, and like I could tell he like uses the cake. It's really cute.
We'll have to get you that recipe because it was like it wasn't sugar free because we got
yeah,
warned
yeah.
do not do that because it's
Gross.
gross. So but it's reduced sugar.
So is now I know people give the cake at age 1, but now is he able to eat sugary stuff, or are you guys keeping him away?
we
Yeah.
keep him away from sugar.
Okay.
And honestly, just because we like, I got to send you who we used for like.
He's a carb monster.
He's a carb
When
monster
did you
since we went to
start
Italy.
doing food? Did
4
you
to
wait
6
to
months.
6, or
5
did
and a
you?
half.
Okay,
5 and a
yeah.
half. And
We did
I
purees.
want to send you who we work with this nutritionist. Her name's Ali Bandier. She is fantastic. Where she helped guide us over like a course of 12 weeks of introducing all these foods, all the textures, all the allergens. And it
Is it baby led wheat, like that kind
it's
of
a
thing? Or
it's a
is it-
hybrid.
I'm scared of baby.
It's a hybrid. So she
It's
she
mixed.
works with you of like what, and Dr. Max said on his episode, he goes, your child is its own universe. So like there is no like one size fit all. So that is something that I think Allie blends into like how she was sort of coaching us on how to feed Bishop is
Baby-led weaning isn't scary though.
I'm scared of it, Jordan.
It is, but you shouldn't be. So it's like
I have nightmares.
if it's really mushy,
Yeah.
you can give your kid like a big, and they just take a bite of it.
But I'm scared when I see like people online doing like steak and stuff like
Oh,
that. Like,
we have a picture
that
of
scares me.
Bishop holding a tomahawk bone, gnawing on
God.
the meat.
There's
on it.
ways to
Maybe
be
with
safe.
the bone, I'd be less scared actually because it's so big.
And you could pick it off.
I don't
So
know.
you
I
can like
kinda do it.
you can pick it off, dole the sharp parts of it, and then just give it to him. And because there's so
No,
many
I'm too scared of
studies
that.
about just like the way that their palates form, that they need.
We already talked about this on the podcast.
I
Yeah,
know,
but I
but I'm
can't-
just
but
telling
I
you.
can't do
Okay.
it.
This isn't for the listeners. This is for Danny.
I can't do it. No, I'm scared of it.
I have to track when we've done a
get
story
it.
before because we only have so many.
We have new ones every week.
But work at 4 months, and I saw that people can start doing it at 4 months. But I'm like, our pediatricians had to wait a little longer.
Yeah.
We waited. Yeah. What we heard
And
is
I'm a
like
picky eater too, so I want him to be into different foods. But
they have to be able to hold their head up really well, and then they have to be interested in food. So they're kind of like, if you're eating and they're kind of looking at it, then they're ready for
Start bringing
solids.
them around you while you guys
yeah,
eat.
he's watching us eat. We're
Yeah.
kind of in that phase where. He's
And there's
just
this great app
staring
called
at us.
Solid Starts.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah.
worth the membership, and then you can search for any ingredient or any food, and then you click on their age, and it tells you how to prepare it for that window.
Okay, that's so
I
much
still
to
mess
figure
it
out.
up.
There's so
So
much
like
to figure
10
out.
different ways to give a strawberry.
Yeah.
You could dice it, you could slice it, you could give it
I
half.
know they
or-
say be scared of grapes. Like that's
yeah,
the
just
big
don't
thing.
even go near a grape until he's like 4.
Yeah.
Or popcorn.
Or a
grape.
hot dog.
Yeah,
Hot
The
dogs.
the thing that's really
I love a hot dog though.
the shocker, the two choking hazards as big as grapes and hot dogs, soft bread
Oh,
and nut butter,
Peanut butter. Yeah.
why soft bread?
because it gets mushy and it can get stuck in their throat.
Oh, interesting.
So you can give them toasted bread, strips.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
Okay.
Solid Starts.
I'm learning about all the food stuff.
Are we
I'm
cutting
sort
all
of
of this? Is
researching.
so boring for people or no?
No, I think people will find it
people-
interesting.
I think parents can relate to
Who's
that.
listening to this podcast?
All
Are
sorts
they-
of
What's
people.
what's our demo? Is it gay? Gay
No,
men?
it's surprisingly not. It's actually 80% female. Shout out to all of the
Well, they
women
could
out
be
there.
lesbians.
Hey girls.
Yeah, it could be
Hey,
lesbians.
ladies. Yeah, you don't know
But
that
I
they're-
actually know a lot of gays who listen to this too, because they are sort of
Well, kind of going back
trying
to
to
what we
figure
talked about earlier is like the one good thing about being sort of public about the child is I have gotten messages from people, from young gay people who are like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I it's nice to see that because I want a family and
Yeah.
you know I could kind of see that it's a possibility.
Yeah.
So I find that very refreshing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
nice.
and I still like receive messages daily from people, not only from like the Netflix of it all, but even from this podcast of just saying like, "Thank you for talking about this." We don't get a lot of family exposure like this, so
There's not a whole ton of like gay parents,
Yeah.
sort of public facing. There's not a whole ton of
well,
like
and I see why. I mean, I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
why. Like the comment section that sometimes when it finds the wrong part of Instagram algorithms is brutal.
you get a lot of stuff though because of the Bachelor world.
Yeah,
negativity,
yeah,
right?
it's a very
Probably.
conservative following, but I
But
sort
those
of like
people
it.
are mostly really
They're
sweet.
really sweet and
Okay,
nice, and
yeah.
I love it, and I feel like I sort of serve as a bridge to be able to say like, yo, we exist and have these rights too.
Will you look at comments?
I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and I think
Will you look at comments?
Yeah, but I'm trained because I worked with artists for so long on like political and social impact things, I was part of so many conversations where like a major celebrity would endorse like a political candidate and then there'd be like haters. And so I had this practice of being like, okay, how many comments are on this post? And they'd be like 400,000. And I'd be like, read through them. How many are positive and how many are negative? Like about like 90% are positive. Okay.
Yeah.
You can relax.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I think here. And by the way, people who are writing hateful comments on social media are miserable.
Yeah, it's more
They're
about
so
them.
sad.
It's, yeah.
And then so I just have trained my brain to be like, oof, imagine the headspace you have to be in
yeah.
to write something hateful about two people on the happiest day of their lives who are bringing home a baby.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that affect my headspace.
I've gone through pretty much every option of deleting, blocking, ignoring, commenting back, engaging with them.
Like, I'll write back
just did for the
it's
first time.
sometimes it's fun to
It is.
I'm like, I hope your day gets better. If you're doing that, like, please get a life.
I
This
think
is sad.
my favorite that I've seen him is like, you seem miserable.
you know
It's just like call them for what they are.
my
It's
mom
just-
always used to say like kill with kindness, and I find like that riles people up the most. Like, because if they say
100%.
something really mean and you just like are like, I'll be like overly aggressively nice.
I know.
And it just to make them feel like shit. And I love that.
That's
I think sometimes too people think
And then
that
feel
you're
bad
not going
if
to
you
see
feel bad
it.
about yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, yeah.
no, you could see
I
it.
don't know. That's what, like, also I get too. It's like,
I don't get them like you guys. I mean, I'm not. I
no,
don't
but
have
my
as
favorite
many-
now
much
is
of a
like
following.
when people still like want to talk about your 15 minutes of fame. I'm like, I've been doing this for 7 years. And they're like, go away. I'm like, you can catch me on Traders next season. I'm like, just keep getting my little digs in.
But the you know, like when he turned 1 and we posted a video of us singing happy birthday to him, and it was the loveliest. People were like,
Yeah,
that seems like
yeah.
such a
Happy baby.
kid, and like those are the ones that make me feel the best. It's never like, oh, he's cute, or like of course any parent thinks their kid is the cutest kid.
Yeah.
But it's like the ones where like, oh, he seems like such a happy
Yeah.
child. Like those mean more to
Totally.
me. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I feel grateful. Lucky is a very happy baby, and he's
so
just so
cute.
smiley all the time, and I love that.
How has it changed you as a person, but also you as a professional?
You know, my friend Jenna just texted me. She said she saw a picture. Speaking of, I was texting her pictures, and she said something like you look like a puzzle completed, and it like really like hit me because I was like, oh, that's exactly what it feels like to me. Is like I feel like I'm someone, especially in my career and life, I've always been sort of like chasing the next thing of like trying to get my business off the ground, trying to get everything moving forward, and always thinking of like the next step. Even from when I was a kid, I was always kind of ready to move on, ready to graduate college early, ready to get my license as early as possible, whatever it was. And for the first time, I think in my whole life, it was like Lucky came and it was everything. I was exactly where I needed to be. I wasn't thinking about the next step. If anything, I was going backwards the other way of like, I want to slow this down. I want this time to stand still. And I think professionally, a lot of what I do is about my life. Like my book, I'm working on my next book right now. And so in my 2 books that I have, it's all family stories and stuff about my past and growing up in Ohio and stuff like that. And so now it's just kind of writing about the phase that I'm in now. And it's really fun to kind of to take a close look at what's going on and like observe it a little bit in my writing. And then my podcasting, it's fun when I'm recapping Housewives to have a little break from everything. And I think I needed that. I took like 6 weeks off from my podcast, and I was antsy to get back into talking about Housewives. And
what's your favorite franchise?
So right now, Salt Lake City, it's the craziest. It's so chaotic, and the women are nuts. And what they do a good job of, Beverly Hills is what I call like laundry folding television. It's very slow paced. They have like one storyline a season. Salt Lake City, it's like there's 1,000 storylines. They're fighting 5 minutes later. Those 2 people that were fighting are moving on. And I think the best reality TV is like conflict resolution. So it's like we have the conflict and then we're moving on, and then moving on to a new conflict maybe.
Cool.
But
well, and Salt Lake's is the most authentic. Like it's like it's in
it's
the
very
world
Utah,
of reality. There it is not manufactured in the slightest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's a little bit to it. Yeah,
but.
And some of the franchises, like they're just very slow paced. And I understand, like Beverly Hills, I mentioned laundry folding. It's like a lot of people like that because they can kind of put it on in the background. And so I know I have a lot of people in my life, or people who reach out to me through my podcast and be like, I love Beverly Hills because it's easy and whatever. And I get that. I like Salt Lake because I'm sitting, paying attention and watching conflict and resolution storylines.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of reality television right now. Right now, and then as of 10 years ago.
Oh God, that's
so
hard.
The OGs, and then like the current Mount Rushmore.
Well, I know you just work with Nene. I think to me, Nene is like an all-time great reality TV star. She's sort of given us more memes and gifs or whatever than I think almost anyone on reality TV.
Yeah.
So she's kind of up there. I mentioned Salt Lake City Housewives. To me, I love this woman, Lisa Barlow, is kind of like the perfect sort of housewife. I sometimes think there's a difference too. A lot of people will tell me I like the villain, but I just like a complicated housewife or a complicated character. And I think it's important for a housewife to just sort of authentically, if they're a little crazy or a little unhinged or whatever, it's important on reality TV to be that. And I think someone like a Lisa Barlow or a Dorinda or something, it's like they show up and they'll kind of give you all the sides of themselves without worrying so much about. I don't know if you're like this when you go on reality TV, because I haven't watched watched The Bachelor, but like,
Yeah.
do you try to?
I was a very complex character on The Bachelor.
I've heard a little,
Obviously.
but were you conscious of like trying to hide certain aspects or like come across a certain way? Oh yeah, I guess that's a dumb question because you were.
I think I hid something. Unfortunately.
Did you ever think to like say, "Hey, I'm a big gay," like on the show? Or you?
No. It was my form of conversion therapy. It was honestly at the core of it. It was.
Did
sad.
you watch Jordan his season?
Yeah.
I had never seen any of it, but right before we got married, I was like, I think I have to watch this before I marry you, because like I've started feeling rude to his fans who would come up to him and be like, you know, remember when this happened, or they would like look at me, and I was like, you know, like I don't know. So I watched it because it was such an important part of his life.
But wait, it's great because I would be downstairs like watching a football game. He'd be in the bath watching Bachelor, and he'd be like, he'd start dying laughing, and he'd pause it and be like, how did they not know you were gay?
Right.
And he would just like start.
It's the same way that all the Fanalos of Barry Manilow, you know.
Yeah, you just sort of deny it.
Yeah, or like people didn't.
So
think
what did
Liv
you think
Rauch
when
was
you watched it?
I really here's this is probably a little too unfiltered, but I thought he did great, and I was surprised by how fake it all was, and I was shocked that there was anyone in the world who thought that they would go on a show to find love.
Right.
I was like, just date someone. Like, you're dating on television.
Right.
Why are you getting so upset by that? You're on an episode of television.
So everyone kind of goes on it just for the show of it all.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I think what I can say is I think why they selected me to become the Bachelor is because I straight up said to them, I will make great TV, but here are like just a couple things like that are like non-starters for me. And we sort of had a handshake deal of like, I'll give you the best show. Just don't do X, Y, and Z.
What were the X, Y, and Z?
Well, they crossed one of the X, Y, and Z, and that's why I jumped the fence. Because I was like, don't play these games with me.
So I don't know the whole lore of I know there was like a big controversy with the fence thing or something.
Yeah,
I don't know the whole lore of
it was a big thing that...
Do you feel like it was misrepresented what happened?
Oh, for sure. I think a lot of people think I jumped the fence because I was getting broken up with, but the reality was I jumped the fence because they sort of broke one of my conditions.
What was the condition?
Just don't mess with like my tops. So I would always...
What do you mean your tops, like, Jordan?
The top girls.
Oh.
Iconic. I sort of was just like, yo, I will do this. Let's make great TV. I'm here to make a show for you. But also like respect that I'm going to put everything into this to find love. So like just do not like interfere with my relationships of my top 3 girls.
So does it frustrate you that sort of lore has follows you and it's misrepresented?
A little. I mean,
like,
here's the thing.
You
know this with Unscripted. A lot of my life and a lot of my professional work from television is misrepresented in some way, shape, form, or fashion, including off camera. Like, just like there's always sort of like this lingering thing around me that a lot of people will never fully understand. But then when like I'm with people, they're like, oh my God, you're so much. I hear that, like, I don't know how to take this, but they're like, you're so much better in person. And I'm like, oh, is that like a dig or like... thanks, or you know, it's just
it's a special. I mean, look, it is clearly was like lightning in a bottle. Like, it was a national phenomenon, and like, you know.
Do you feel protective of it when you?
No, not really. I don't understand it,
and
so I've just made peace with that. But I respect it that there are some people who are like fervent fans, and you know, we are really close with the former host Chris Harrison and his wonderful wife Lauren.
I know Lauren,
and we went to their wedding. And here's how ignorant and dumb I am. This just gives you a little bit of a window. So they had this beautiful party the night before their wedding where they invited everyone who had been on the show, of which there were many at the wedding as guests, to come, you know, to their home. And everyone was so sweet to me. They're like, how did you and Colton meet? And I like tell them the story. And then and what about you? And they're like, on the TV show, The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And I
was, it was like Tanner and Jay.
Yeah,
got it. Or like, okay, and you... It worked. You're married. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, so I guess it does work for some people, but that's how clueless I was.
Jordan, when you watched it, were you like, I guess you were already together at that point when you finally watched this season. I was going to say, were you watching me like, oh, look at that's my husband now? Like,
nah, it felt like the experience of being like a foreign exchange student. I felt like I was like on a different planet. I didn't understand because.
I mean, that seems so weird to be watching your husband
But it's a performance, like in the same way, right? That he talked about how
you're
genius Paris Hilton is, which I agree. She's a genius. She created a persona. It's not really her. It's what she's like giving to people. Want good television. That's why that part I understood. The part I couldn't understand is I'm like, are these feelings real when you're like actually crying? That like, you know, and you're talking about like, I was dating this person. No, you weren't. There were 4 cameras and you're in like a Spago in Bangkok or something. And like, what are you talking about?
Wait, did you get physical with the women? Is that too personal?
No. I mean, well, I was the virgin bachelor.
Yeah. Okay. So you didn't have sex with any of the women on the show.
So the reason why I think it works is because
I too. Many personal questions.
No. The reason why I think it works is because when you don't have your devices, first off, that show is filmed over 2.5, almost 2.5 months.
There's no porn for you to look at, so you're like, okay.
There's no porn, but no, also there's no distractions. So when you actually like are in this world, like and especially with Bachelor, they do not break your bubble for anything. You have no clue what's happening on the outside. They do that for a lot of reality shows for that reason, is they don't want to distract and they want to keep you in the experience. So that's why
I don't mean to sound like a hater at all.
Yeah,
I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like my cup of tea,
he would have never.
But I respect, like, I mean, it was the biggest.
And that's similar to like after the Netflix show, after my coming out doc, like
were you guys together when that doc came out?
We met right at the end of me taping,
filming,
and then we didn't start dating until 2 months later, but we were together before it aired. So it was really hard because it was just like this tricky limbo. And then even I remember after it aired, there was conversations, are you doing season 2? And then I was sort of jaded, and also I needed time to heal.
And you guys never wanted to do, I would imagine after that, if I was a producer, I'd be like, oh, well, that show went well. Now he's with this guy. Wouldn't we want to follow that? Was that something that you just didn't want to do? Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Because I would think anyone would say, you guys need to do that.
I needed time away from camp.
But it makes sense why you wouldn't want to. I would just...
Yeah, it felt like, you know, when you're like
Producer-wise.
starting a fire and it's like, you know, it can either, the fire can have like some room to grow or get like snuffed out. That was an
It was
unexpectedly
probably the
deep
smartest relationship
metaphor.
decision you could have made at the time, because...
And
it would've just
I
added
had
a whole
learned
other
that it's
element.
not healthy to have the public in your relationship. So that's why we protected and tried to lay as low as we could.
How do you guys deal with the public? Because my husband and I, it's not like it's impossible to even get him to take a picture. So it's like he's barely even on my social media. But how do you deal with people having opinions about your relationship?
I'll ask you, because I mean, I'm by this point, like, I'm so chill and like could
I don't care at all about any of it.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention. Like, we have a family and dogs.
Wait, I know
and
you haven't finished your Mount Rushmore.
Oh,
We'll wrap with
Dorinda and
love Dorinda.
you know, this maybe isn't a Mount Rushmore, but I'm maybe at the moment with Dr. Wendy, just before we started recording, Dr. Wendy from Potomac was like arrested for fraud. And so that's going to be a storyline that I think is going to be playing out for the
just
next couple
because
seasons.
before we recorded this
yeah,
podcast?
like just came out on TMZ.
Oh,
and so
my gosh.
I'm excited. That's gross to say excited, but I think it's going to be a storyline that we'll see for a couple more seasons to play out.
How many?
So to me, that's exciting. Like, just
how many housewives have been arrested now?
all of them. most
I mean,
of
this
them.
is.
Have you ever been arrested? Have either of you been?
No.
Okay. See, I'm trying to get all the tea.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, she was just, it was like a big TMZ story. So I haven't gotten into the details of it yet. But just when I think of Housewives, it's like, you know, having a storyline like that's going to play out for a couple years now.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Danny, thank you so
Thank
much
you for having
joining
me,
us.
boys. Yeah, thank you.
This is so much.
this was fun.
And where can everybody find you, your socials, and your podcast?
At Danny Pellegrino on Twitter or Instagram. I'm not on Twitter, but all the social media is at Danny Pellegrino. And then I have 2 books out. I mentioned
Amazon.
Get them on Amazon or wherever you get your books, the library, whatever. And then, my podcast is called Everything Iconic.
And be nice in the comments.
Yeah, be nice, you guys. Be nice to
With
us.
love. 3 gay
love.
dads.
Hey, guys.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Danny.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys.